sons and daughters. Today topic is Islamic reforms. Before going to the Islamic reforms, I want to recap the four topics on the previous day. Theosophical Society and anti-caste movements of Jyotibai Phule and Narayana Guru and Ayangali. And this session today, the social class, the topics are dedicated to none other than yesterday, who celebrated his birth anniversary of the Muslim People's President and Students Leader, none other than who made India as a vision of 2020 vision, none other than the Abdul Kalam's birth anniversary was yesterday. So we dedicate this topics, all the topics to the great leader, the scientist APJ Abdul Kalam, and his vision of 2020 will be successful by the students of Indians. Yes, today's topic, recap of Theosophical Society. Already said Theosophical movement, where Theosophical means two divine words. That means Theo means God, Sposical means wisdom. That means God to wisdom. Was founded in 1875. Theosophy comes from the Greek word Theosophy. Is a worldwide body with aim to advance the ideas of Theosophy in continuation of the previous Theosophists. Who were the previous Theosophists? That are the Greek philosopher Alexander and Neoplaton, the philosopher during back to the 3rd century AD. It also emphasizes wider philosophies, and also along with the Greek philosophy, along with that philosophy, Vedanta and Mahayana, Mahavira's ideas, and Buddhism and Kabbalah. Kabbalah is who is Kabbalah? An ancient Jewish tradition of mystical of the Bible is called Kabbalah and Sufism. Theosophical Society as a bridge between the East and West and emphasizing the commonality of the human culture. And Annie Besant, after the Olcott and Madame Blavatsky of Russia and Henry Sir Olcott of America, the other successor is second successor of Theosophical Society from 1849 to 1933 is Annie Besant. Born on October 1 at London in England, the second president of Theosophical Society, 1907 to 1933. She is the president of Theosophical Society at Chennai in Adayar. She was discovered as a diamond soul in Theosophical Society. Her long-time interest in education resulting founding of the Christian Hindu of Banaras College. Hindu Banaras College in 1896. Later on it turned as an Banaras Hindu University. Involved in freedom movement. In 1960, earlier said, he founded the Home Rule movement along with Balagangadhar Tilak. What is the meaning of Home Rule movement? Self-ruled by the Indians. India should be ruled by the Indians alone, not by the other foreigners. She became the president of Indian National Congress in 1917. After reading Thomas Paini's famous book, The Rights of Man, greatly influenced by his ideas, she died on 28 September in 1933 at the age of 85 years. Her ashes have been spreaded in the river Ganga and rested in the garden of Theosophical Society at Chennai in Adayar. We move on to the next topic of recap, Jyotibai Phule. I already said Phule. What do you mean by Phule? His parents and his uncles were selling the florist business. That means selling, cutting and arranging the flowers is called florist. So through that he got the name of Phule. Born on 11th April 1827 at Katgan in Maharashtra. He studied in a Christian missionary school. Later, due to the poverty, he is unable to study and came out of the Christian missionary school. But he got a very good friend from a Brahmin society, rich man. So he continued again in a college and got a scholarship. Became a scholar. He was a revolutionary reformer. He was regarded as father of Indian social revolutionary reformer. Jyotibai Phule occupies a unique position, that means important position among the social reformers in Maharashtra. Jyotibai Phule was against all forms of inequality, especially caste system. And Jyotiba Phule, especially against the caste system. Phule also believed the upper caste people had no rights over the land. His main aim is to uplifting the women status, to motivate to propaganda caste equality. Jyotiba Phule founded an association known as Satyapal Shodak Samaj. In 1873, Jyotiba Phule wrote Gulamgiri, a book he written Gulamgiri by name. It was dedicated to all the Americans, especially who fought for the free slaves. He fought for the peasants and other caste people and for unfortunate children. The persons who have lost all the things, never achieved anything in their life, they are called unfortunate children. A person suffers from misfortunes is called unfortunate children. He constructed bathing land outside his house. He also dined with all regardless of the caste. He revolted against tyranny of the upper caste. What is by tyranny? Few cruel things done to the upper caste people, to the lower caste people, take a pardon, sorry, to the lower caste people by the upper caste, and he died on 1870, 28th November at Pune. Especially Savitri Phule, especially his wife supported Jyotibai Phule because he has been started the schools for the lower caste children to educate themselves, because in those days the higher class schools, the lower caste people not been allowed. And also why Jyotiba Phule had fought for the lower caste people and fought for against the casteism and Brahminism. I can give you one example, one incident in the life of the Jyotiba Phule. One time he has been invited by a friend for his marriage. His friend invited. His friend is a rich caste and also is a Brahmins. When Jyotiba Phule entered the ceremony function of his friend, all the other people shamed Jyotiba Phule caste. They made a curse on the Jyotiba Phule caste. Immediately Jyotiba Phule came out of the ceremony. During that time we take a vow to uplift the lower caste people. That's a very good incident. He revolted against the tyranny of the upper caste and he died in the 1890. Tyranny means cruel things happened to the lower caste people at 28th November 1870 at Pune. Next topic we move on to the Narayana Guru. Was a social reformer, philosopher, spiritual leader in India. He was born in Kerala in the year 1856, Shembaramadi, Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala, Shembaramadi. He was born in a family that born in a family that belonged to Yagava community. His reform against the caste system, Society of Kerala, in order to promote spiritual enlightenment, Bhaya Bhakti, in social equality. His philosophy is one caste, one religion. And he died in Shivagiri, Kerala. And we move on to the topic of Ayangali. Ayangali is also having another name. He is popularly called by the people of lower caste people in Kerala. He is the leader of Bullock Cart. Now in Kerala, I doesn't know where in India, but in Kerala they are celebrating 155th anniversary in Travancore in Kerala of Ayangali's birth anniversary of 1863 to 1914. He is born to the Maila and Ayyan at Venganur in Kerala. A great social reformer of Kerala. He belonged to Puliya caste. Ayangalis belong to Puliya caste, a great social reformer of Kerala, born on 28th August 1863. who work for the deprived classes, that means lower caste, deprived classes, all the things are called lower caste people only. He fought for the untouchables people in the primary state of Travancore, the princely state of Travancore. In the previous class I said, why they saying princely state of Travancore? The Travancore was, now it's called Trivandrum. It's under the control of the British region. They gave subsidy to the Travancore, a native ruler who ruled the Travancore. By through tax, they collect the subsidy monies. His efforts influenced many changes that improved the social well-being of those people who are today referred to as Dalits. In 1893, he rode an Villuvandi, that means ox cart, Kattavandi, where the social caste shouldn't, the social caste people shouldn't walk on the road where the Hindus higher caste are living. The scheduled caste people doesn't come to the road, they shouldn't walk on the road. So they shouldn't go that side. To against that, Ayangali made an Villuvandi ox cart. So that only, by that only, he got the name of leader of bullock cart. They celebrated the major achievement in Kerala. This incident made so famous for the Ayangali. The lower caste people throughout the Kerala celebrated this major achievement in Kerala. And he made that rally, Villuvandi ox cart at Balapuram, at Balarampuram, by the Ayangali, came to know as Walk for Freedom. While he was walking on the roads against where and all the Hindus are living, for the lower caste people, not only that bullock cart named him the leader of the bullock cart, while the Hindus neglected the lower class people to walk on the side of the Hindus, he made a majestic walk where the Hindus lived, and is known for Walk for Freedom. Is called, that walk is called Chelliya Riots by Ayangali. That walk made against the upper caste Hindus is called Chelliya Riots. In his book Anand Teltumbu, his book Dalits, he wrote a book by name Dalits. In his book, he wrote about the past, present, and the future of the Dalits people. What is past? What is present? What going to be the future? That he wrote in book Dalits. He died in the year 1941. Today, we move on to the topic of Islamic reforms. To champion the cause, the Hindus are by giving the reformers, bringing out the Western ideas, Western's education, science, and English. Through that, the Muslims were very feared. After the suppression of revolt of 1857, suppression means ஒடுக்குவது. During the first war of India's independence, where the Mangal Pandey have been hanged to death while he killed the British officer at Barakpur near Bengal. The revolt rolled out throughout India, in Kanpur, central India, in Ara in Bihar, and in Lucknow. In all areas, the great revolted. I don't want to go inside deeply, because in the next lesson you are going to learn about the great revolt of the first war of India's independence. Or it's called the Sepoy Munity. Now they changed the name. The Historical Studies Department of the Prakati Maidan, New Delhi, has changed the name Great Revolt of 1857 into People's Revolt. Now new name is People's Revolt. By the British are never considered that People's Revolt or Great Revolt or the first war of India's independence. They consider this revolt and all military revolt. Through the military alone we are fighting. Indian Muslims look to Western culture with suspicion, Sandega Parvayode. This Western culture into India, especially by the social reformers, by through that only the social evils can be eradicated. Through education, through English, only this can be eradicated. But the Muslim community people had a suspicion about the Western culture. Sandega Parvayodu Pathar. The community feared that Western education, Western culture, and Western ideas would endanger the religion. It caused damage to the Islamic. We are following the Prophet Muhammad's. We are reading in Urdu. We are worshipping Prophet Muhammad. We have to do the namaz 12 times a day. Every Friday we should go for mosque. Such will be eradicated, will be danger for our religion, they thought. Therefore, only a small section of Muslims accepted the new avenues for modern education. Only a small section, only the educated Muslims have been accepted this new, the Western culture and Western ideas. But most of that religion people had a suspicion in that and will cause danger to the Muslim Islamic. So, there the hero of the Muslim comes, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Born in Delhi into a noble Muslim family, a good family, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan thought that lack of education, modern education had harmed the Muslim greatly and kept them backward. And they were fear, I already said. They never wanted the Western culture or Western education or English. It will be a danger to the religion. So, by not concentrating on the Western education, Western culture, Western ideas, they have become very low. Most of the Muslims are not been educated. They never developed themselves because they never followed the modern education. Exhorted the Muslims to Western science. What do you mean by, what is the meaning of exhorted? Encourage. He encouraged the Muslims to study the Western science, Western ideas, English. That's the meaning of exhorted. He encouraged. He founded a scientific society and translated many English books into Urdu. At least through that, by translating that, the Muslim community, Islamic people can come to know about the Western education, Western science, and about English, how the other people, other community people have been developed. He believed that interest of the Muslim would be best served if they bonded with the British government rather than the pitch with the rising of the national movement. But Sir Syed Ahmad Khan said, don't go and join against the British, the Indian nationalists. Don't go for the freedom of India. Join with the British people. Then only you can be developed and get the government service. That means government jobs. Don't go and join with the Indian national leaders. Go along with the British. Then only you can be educated. So when I have been translated many books, science books into Urdu language. And to take to English education and to concentrate on the Aligarh movement, to champion the cause of the Muslim, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan movement, the Aligarh movement, is also called because it was centered around the Aligarh Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, founded him in the 1895. It's the greatest achievement by Syed Ahmad Khan, establishing the Anglo-Oriental College founded by him in 1875. which is the landmark in the history of India. Muslim education. The college raised to the status of a university, Muhammad Anglo Oriental University, in 1920. He reformed the Muslim society through his views and ideals in his writings. He was in favor of abolishing the Parda system. Now you can see in the road, the women are wearing, right from the small girls to the women are wearing the black parda, not to see anyone. And education for women. He propagated his views and ideals in a newspaper called. This information is not in a book. He propagated Pracharam, his views and ideals in his newspaper called Taril Ud Akhlaq. His views in paper. Through that paper, how the great poets and all making their views, Bharatiyar for freedom, like that here to champion the cause of the Muslims. By through the newspaper, how omnipresent his views in New India paper, like that here Syed Muhammad Khan have been propagated his views and ideals in his newspaper called Taril Ul Akhlaq. What is the meaning of Taril Ul Akhlaq? Reforms of views. Reforms of views. He said Hindu Muslim. This is a very important point what I am going to see. See, that's why he's called hero. Syed Ahmad Khan is called a hero here, the Syed Ahmad Khan. He said Hindus and Muslims are the two eyes of a beautiful bird. பறவையின் இரு கண்கள், ஒரு கண் Hindus, another eye is Muslim. He said his word. Hindus and Muslims are the two eyes of a beautiful bird, that was India. How very nice to hear that. That Hindus and Muslims are the two eyes of a beautiful bird, that was India. You should also know that all the religions are one. The Islamic, Christianity, and the Hinduism, and the Zoroastrianism, Jainism, Buddhism are not that. All are one religion only. How nice to hear that Hindus and Muslims are the two eyes of a beautiful bird, that was India. He done the Imam service. Sir, it's a new word, sir. Imam I never heard before. Y-E-O-M-A-N. Imam service to uplift the Muslim. That means he worked very hard. He done his service for the Islamic society. So only he made the Imam service. Thank you very much. In the next session, I will complete by Deoband movement and Jyoti Das, the social reformer in Tamil Nadu, Ramalinga Swamigal. வாடிய பயிரெல்லாம் கண்டபோதெல்லாம் நான் வாடினேன். Beautiful lines of Ramalinga Swamigal and Jyoti Das. And one more thing, study work very hard for geography. First lesson will be the unit test at the end of the month. Nearby, the date is not announced. By last week of this month, it will be announced by your in charge, respected Ranjini ma'am. Thank you very much.